tell me what is going on? Seems that everybody's gone crazy. Where have all the dreamers gone? Or have we all just gotten lazy? Something's got to give. There won't be much life left to live. Please send a sign from up above. And if I gotta choose, I choose love. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna make me hate. I choose love. I choose love. No one's gonna take that away. Ooh, something strange is in the air. Seems that everybody's changing, and I can't find no faith anywhere. Seems it's been replaced with raging.
Welcome to the Progressive Action TV show. I'm so happy that you guys can join me today. We have a lot to talk about. I really wish that I could do a live show every single day, but I just can't do it health-wise right now. It's too much talking, too much going on. If you don't know, I am your host, Tramel Thompson. I am the founder of Progressive Action. If you're just tuning in, please do us a favor. If you're watching on Facebook, share out the live. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching via YouTube, take the link, put it in the text message, put it in the email, send it to your friends. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. Very important stuff. How you guys doing though? I'm going to be paying attention a little bit to what you guys say in the comments. I definitely want to see what you guys got to say today. So let me get to that real quick. Let me get to the comments. Let me know that you're in the building. Write your name. Put a hands up in the comment section. Let me know that you're in the building and you're watching. Let's get right to it. 1 second. For those who don't know, this past weekend was the March on Washington. And it was where Martin Luther King delivered his famous "I Have a Dream" speech. Hold on 1 second. One of our teammates, a fighter for the union. Shout out to our brother Chris Drummond. You know, he's committed not only to the job causes, but he's committed to the stuff that's happening in our communities also. So Chris Drummond had went down there with his family. I'm going to post a few of the pictures. You know, Black Lives Matter, because that's what it's about right now. And we're not going to get caught up in the conversation of Black Lives Matter Incorporated or the business. We're talking about Black Lives Matter, that black people matter. And we've been treated wrong for a very long time. And it's about time that we start fighting back and making our issues known and putting them in the forefront and leading on our own issues. So yes, Drummond went down there with his family, his daughter, and it looked like they had a good time. For those who don't know, let me put his other picture back on the screen. For those who don't know, Drummond is the vice chair of Conductors Towers for TWU Local 100. For those who don't know, that's the Transit Workers Union in New York City. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. He's a fighter. I look up to Drummond too, believe it or not. He's a good guy though. So shout out to Drummond taking his family to the Black Lives Matter March on Washington event. Now, it seems like there has been nothing but anarchy going on all around us, from our jobs to our communities, everywhere. As soon as you turn on the news, these type of shootings. I watched a shooting today where a guy got shot in the head accidentally by his own friend shooting at someone else. It's crazy of what's going on out here. And it's even crazier of what's going on, crazy what's going on in these subways. These subways they've been dangerous for a very long time. And let me just get into the video just to show you guys exactly what we're talking about. And we're going to discuss this. Check it out. As you can see in that video, you see a guy like attempting to like rape a woman on the platform. Now, what's sad about this entire situation, I mean, this guy obviously appears to be an EDP. The part I have the issue with is the people that's standing around looking, recording as if this is a Broadway play. Before they even thinking about calling 911 or coming to that person's aid, they would rather record. And I call that the World Star era. The World Star era would rather get the footage and watch you die, watch you be assaulted, watch you be violated before actually helping or calling for help. Not even call the police, but you'll rather record. But what you seeing what's going on, not only in our communities once again, but in these subways on transit workers, is an indictment on the protection the police provide everywhere. I mean, people are committing crimes with impunity. They not thinking about getting arrested. They not thinking about anything. A straight lawlessness going on in these everywhere, but in particularly these subways. And we've been through this as transit workers. We've been through this. The assaults has never died when it came to assaults on employees. Never did. They never died. But this is the result that we get when people do not do their job. There's no real police presence in the subways. And I'm telling you that because I could go an entire day without seeing uniformed police. We get assaulted every single day. We just had an assault, a very egregious assault where the conductor could have died. He got pushed off the platform at Hoyt Skimmerhorn and injured himself. Could have died. But these people commit these crimes with impunity, not a care in the world, because there's no police presence. And let me remind you, there's a police station at Hoyt Skimmerhorn. Where are the police at in the system? I don't get it. It seems like, they are ghosts. They are ghosts. They are there on paper, but they're not there really protecting us like they should. So something needs to be done about this. But what I would say about the guy who attempted to rape this female on the platform, he was caught. He's obviously an EDP. It is no excuse, but it is an indictment on how we are being protected in the subways. And also, in America in general, there seems to be two Americas here. Two Americas. It seems like when Caucasians do something, they get away with it. It seems like when African Americans do something, we either end up dead or in jail. It's the truth. We end up either dead or in jail. And I'm gonna play two videos. And I want to see. I want you guys. I'm gonna look at the comments. I'm gonna play two videos. I want you guys to let me know what you would think would happen if this was a person of color that committed these acts of violence, because it is violence. Check it out.
Pick him up, pick him up.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting!
Oh my God, what happened?
I'm not gonna tell you again.
Still.
Oh, he was still damn.
Stop resisting. Okay. Stop resisting.
There you go. We need to do that. I don't care what color you are. I drive a truck and I put up with that shit every week.
Right.
That's video number 1. Let's go to video number 2.
Don't raise your voice at me. Don't raise. No, you can't. No, you can't raise your voice to me. Don't do it, buddy. Don't video it, kill me. Thank you. Don't do it, buddy. What you gonna do, Bree? Oh. Hey, buddy. Get the fuck off of me. Get the. You want to throw some punches, buddy? You ready? You want to throw punches? You just want to man up? Put that gun down. Put it down, bitch. No. Get off of me. I ain't getting nothing wrong. Leave me alone. What are you doing? Get away from me. I haven't done anything wrong. You attacked me.
You're under arrest.
For what?
You're under arrest.
For what? No.
Disorderly conduct.
No, I'm not under arrest for disorderly conduct.
You're under arrest now for resistance.
You are a real piece of work, buddy. I didn't do anything wrong. This is ridiculous. Don't raise your voice at me.
If those two gentlemen were people of color fighting with the police like that, what do you think would have happened to those men? Do you think that they will be living to talk about it? Do you think that they will see their family again? What do you think will happen? There's two Americas here. Definitely two Americas. If these were black people, I would say 9 times out of 10, they would have been dead. They would have been dead. But this is the result of having two Americas. And it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, it's crazy. Let's say that. So let's get into our main topic of today. And does the MTA, well, we know. We're going to make a statement. We're not asking. The MTA supports racism against people of color. This is a fact. This is a fact. I advise you guys, if you're watching right now, please share out the show. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet it. If you're watching on YouTube, take the link, send it out in text message, email. If you're watching on Facebook, start a watch party in a group, share it on your page, do something. It's very important that we get this information out there. So let's touch on another topic that happened. During the whole Black Lives Matter situation, the protest, there were two RCIs, two MTA rail car inspectors. That's what they call RCIs. I'm gonna play the video and then we're going to discuss it. Let me play the video and then we're going to discuss it. Now, let me back it up a little bit. That video that you just watched were two RCIs off duty. They had ran through a set of Black Lives Matter protesters. It looked like some people were hurt. The name of these RCIs, and this is in the media, they father and son, Bill Worm and Will Worm, or whatever the case is. And they were seen on video, like I said, I just played it, running over some Black Lives Matter protesters. So, what ended up happening is that these men were found not to be committed. They didn't commit a crime, even though you seen them drive through the protesters. The NYPD didn't pursue any action, and of course the MTA didn't pursue any actions. But the reason I bring up this story is because the protesters took their argument to 2 Broadway, and I'm going to show you guys what they did. And this was last Thursday or Friday. Let me show you what they did. Now, the reason I bring up that video is to show you that you have members of the public that's willing to stand up against this company for what they believe is racist actions. I wasn't there when the RCIs did that. The police cleared them. Of course, the MTA is not pursue any charges, but it shows you that people are willing to stand up and fight. Now, my question is to my coworkers. If you have parts of the public that is willing to do this, then why aren't we willing to have the same type of fight with this company that's doing way worse to us? Why are we not trying to have the same type of fight? And that leads me to the conversation of Jason Brown. For those who don't know, Jason Brown got in trouble, got caught for writing some racist, vile, inflammatory comments on Facebook targeted at people of color. And he's been doing this for years. First of all, I want to say this. I'm proud of the work that we have done to bring attention to this. We got this to the media. The MTA took action. Is not the action that we wanted, but I must say that Progressive Action, we did a good job bringing attention to this, and it's not over yet. But recently, Superintendent Brown was given a slap on the wrist for saying some very vile things, very derogatory, bigot, racist. He got a slap on the wrist. What management did was, well, I won't say management, what the arbitrator ruled and said, we're going to demote him for 6 months. After he finishes 6 months in an hourly title, he's going to go back to the same position that he had. I mean, let's look into some of the things that he said, and let's look at the timeline of it. This was 6 years ago. So we're talking about 2014. at least. This was in regards to Zimmerman and Trayvon Martin. He said, no, Zimmerman was driving to the target. I mean, to target. And let's go to 2017. He said, talking about how to further torture and discipline hourlies over breakfast. And he's talking about people of color because mostly people of color works in the department where he could actually discipline people and cause havoc in their lives. So he's talking about black people. And this is how he feel about Black Lives Matter. Long but essential line of viewing. Go ahead and free yourself from the shackles of your narrow worldview and hyperbole of your media. But the title of it is Black Lives Matter as a radical terror hate group and a blatant con. This is how he feel about when blacks decide to fight for themselves. And this guy's a manager, a line manager, which means that he's one step away from being a general and two steps away from being an actor, which is a very high level of management in this company. Now, I want to break down some things for you guys because a lot of stuff was being overlooked in his case, but we got to recognize what the MTA is doing here. Now, I want to make this clear. When the MTA say they have zero tolerance for violent racist behavior, they really want to say that they have zero tolerance for violent racist behavior unless you are a person of color. That's what they really mean. If you're attacking people of color on this job, no matter what your title is, no matter what your rank is, the MTA have tolerance for this behavior. It is accepted by the MTA. We are not going to allow them to think that to pass this buck on the arbitrator and say this is what the arbitrator ruled. That is not the case. Now, I want to be clear about Mr. Brown. I don't believe that he should have been fired. I don't believe that. But I would say is that he should never be able to hold a supervisory title ever again. You ain't have to fire him. He should have went back permanently to being a train operator if there's truly zero tolerance for this type of behavior. Now, let's make it clear. The MTA is way too diverse to have those type of thoughts, period, in this company, whether you are hourly, whether you are a manager, especially management. We too diverse for you. Like, I just don't get the MTA logic on this. And he shouldn't have the ability to be in charge of anyone ever again at this company. He doesn't have leadership skills. He doesn't. That's not the sign of a leader. He doesn't have the ability to be fair. We see that. He talks about one group of people. He doesn't have the ability to be objective because he's already biased and he's already untrustworthy. How can you trust him to lead in any capacity? But this is the game that the MTA play. Now, the MTA could say, look, we gave it to an arbitrator or whatever the case is. But this post right here, this post was from 6 years ago. The MTA knew about these posts. This post in particular and the other ones that's inside the news article. They knew about this post and these posts. What did the MTA do? They promoted him. Back when he wrote this post in 2017, the MTA knew about this post. And what did they do? They promoted him. They promoted him. management was still aware. They was very aware of his thought process when it came to people of color. So it goes back to this question. Does the MTA really have zero tolerance for this type of behavior? Or when blacks are the target of this type of behavior, they have tolerance for it? Like I said, management knew of Mr. Brown's post before they promoted him. They obviously had tolerance of his thought process, of his vile, racist, hatred, bigoted post on Facebook. And let's not act like this is the only story, because the MTA is very good at thinking that these are one-shot deals. Like, this is the first time we ever had to deal with this, and it would never happen. No, the only time the MTA change is when they get embarrassed or the media is involved. That's the only way they want to create change. If they could keep everything behind those walls at 2 Broadway, they will hide it there forever. Because this is what the MTA do. And like I said, this is not the only story either. It's not the only story. Just last year, put up this article. Just last year at Linden Yard, people of color were harassed by Trump supporters. These Trump supporters at Linden Yard was putting stickers all over these people's property. This is racist. This is harassment. The MTA failed to do anything. They did not do nothing. Also, let's not forget about this. The blackface supervisor at the Metro North Railroad, where he walked blackface to a party, and this is the story from Channel 4. Metro North employee who wore blackface to party still works for MTA despite colleagues' complaints. The MTA have tolerance when it comes to black people being the target of racist, vile, bigoted behavior. We are not going to let them fool us. Now, let's be clear. This supervisor was promoted in 2014 despite employee complaints about a photo of him dressed in blackface. 2014. The MTA knew about this in 2014 and they still promoted the supervisor. Now, the supervisor name is Richard Rinaldo. Received 5 days of sensitivity training for the incident, but then went to manage more workers. So you're talking about a slap on the wrist for a manager where the company states that there's zero tolerance for racist, vile behavior.
Get the fuck out of here!
Now, doesn't this all sound familiar at this company? They don't care about people of color. They made that quite clear. I don't need someone to tell me we don't like you in order for me to see that they don't like us. Action speaks louder than words. The punishment do not fit the crime here. This is bad. So all that talk, we have zero tolerance. Yeah, they got zero tolerance. Go talk about another group of people at this job and we'll see how much zero tolerance they got. But talk about black people, we got tolerance. Not only do we got tolerance, we're going to promote these men who saying this racist, vile stuff because we don't care about you colored folks. I mean, we see that with discipline. They quick to discipline us. We see it with how they treat the pregnant women on this job. They know who's more likely to get pregnant on this job because it's just more black women on this job. Let's be real here. We seen them, how they treated us during this pandemic. We seen how many people of color died here. They don't care to treat us any better because They don't like black people, this company. Action speaks louder than words. And answer this. Why is there a ceiling for promotions when it comes to people of color at this job? Why there isn't any high-ranking people of color at this job in the MTA in general when we make up more than half of the workforce in the whole MTA at large? Why is that? Why is that? Now, when it comes to Jason Brown, he definitely had help. He had help. And those people who helped him support his stance on people of color. And the people who have supported him and had to know about it and should be held responsible is Barry Greenblatt, the vice president of Subways, Paul McPhee, the senior director or whatever he is, and labor relations, Lenny Axelrod. I don't get how you guys let this guy slip through the cracks all this time. But when you analyze the whole entire situation, they from the same background that Jason Brown is. They looking out for each other. The problem at this company is that we don't have people to look out for us. When Pat Foy told Utano to go have a safe Columbus Day, he wrote a letter. He went to the media. He did all this stuff because he felt Pat Foy disrespected his Italian heritage. Where's Tony Utano at now with these racist supervisors that's getting caught talking to us crazy and doing all this crazy stuff to us? Where's Utano at? Why he isn't mad now? Why isn't any rep, VP or better, upset and going to the media with this manager saying this stuff to the rank and file? Where's our protection at? These people only care for themselves. And I'm talking about these managers, these high-ranking managers. I'm talking about these high-ranking union officials. They only care about themselves. Utano don't care if you're not harming an Italian, and this is how he is. If you're not harming an Italian, he don't care about you. This is a fact. With management, the people who protected Brown, look at their backgrounds. They come from the same background as Jason Brown. They allowed him to slip through the ranks and do this to us. How does a guy who says this get 6 months demoted in an hourly title and still be allowed to come back to being the same supervisor that he was? This is unprecedented. And the MTA could have did more, but they chose not to do more. They could have stopped this thing from happening in the first place if they would have took action when it first happened. Instead, just like the guy from Metro North Railroad who got the blackface, as you see on the screen, they continue to promote these guys. This company do not care about people of color. Bottom line. And then you have the black people that's within the company that's higher up. They playing the game, the same game as these other people. You know that saying, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, or all kinfolk ain't skin folk. Whichever way it go. You know how it go. They not. Kenmore Ward plays the same exact game that Greenblatt plays, obviously. And to be honest with you, I never had a negative interaction with Greenblatt. I actually like Greenblatt. But this right here is making me look different on him, and this is just the front. Paul McPhee, I don't know him, but he's responsible for this too, and definitely Axelrod, because he is the man at labor relations. He cannot say that he did not know about this. This is what they do, and it is sad. It is sad that we got to work amongst men who think about us like that. You don't have to blatantly say it to me to say that you don't like me, but your actions say a whole bunch. Your actions say a whole bunch. You guys are very despicable. It is sad that y'all allow Brown to advance himself through the ranks with this type of ideology to manage and govern a whole bunch of people of color. I'm letting you guys know now. Jason Brown can't manage me. Promise you that. I will be taken out of service every chance I get before I listen to him. No way he can manage me. It's no way. No way. And I'm telling you this too. We go pop up at somebody's home. We go pop up at somebody's home. Whether it be Pat Foy, whether it be Feinberg, whether it be Jason Brown. I don't care. We go pop up at somebody's home and we go let them know that this is not going to be tolerated. I refuse to be treated like this. This is the reason why you guys treated us like this during COVID. Y'all don't give a damn about us. Y'all don't care about us. Most of the people that work here is people of color. 77% of us here. You guys do not care about us. And it shows. It shows. And just to show you guys a stark comparison of, hold on, man. I gotta catch my breath. Oh, shit. Just to show you guys a stark comparison of people who fight for their union members and people who don't. You got the UFT. So you got the UFT stand for United Federation of Teachers. You have the United Federation of Teachers, and they've been using the word strike. It's a curse word. The word strike is a curse word. But they've been using it lately in order to stand up for the health and safety of not only their members, but the kids that will be attending these schools. So in this post right here, New York City Teachers Union prepares for strike authorization votes next week. That's when they take a vote to see that if it's all right for their union leadership to call for a strike. And I want to walk you guys through this. The next post that they put up was them saying that the city had owed them days, and that if they were to strike and had to pay the fine, that they would have been covered because the city owed them days already. So they was already strategizing as to what was going on, and I believe that they were serious about going on to strike, rightfully so. We seen what this disease did to New York City, did to the United States. Over 6 million people tested positive. We seen it. So what they did, they decided to say, hold up, we're not going to put the kids and we're not going to put the members of the UFT lives at risk because you guys just want to open up schools. It doesn't work that way. So what happened today? The UFT got the schools opening pushed back to September 21st. Shout out to the UFT. Shout out to the UFT. Now I want to point out some of the provisions that they had got because they did this. Union reps are checking every school to make sure supplies and procedures are in place. Robust program of a repeated random sampling and COVID-19 testing of adults and students present in school. School buildings that do not meet safety standards will remain closed. Look what the UFT did because they took a stance. They took a stance. Where was this same stance when it came to TWU leadership? If the UFT can do it, why couldn't the TWU do it? We lost more workers than any city agency in America. I want to make that clear. Of America. The UFT took a stand. Where's our robust testing at? Where is it? Where's the safety protocols to make sure that we are working safe? There's still people out here talking about they not getting PPE. Where's that at for us? Where's the union standing up for us in the name of health and safety and challenging the Taylor law on that right there alone? Where is it? This union leadership UTANO don't care about us for the same reason the MTA don't care about us. And UTANO is so predictable. As soon as you say that he doesn't care about people of color, he do something for one of his house Negroes up there that's a person of color. So right now there's a spot that needs to be filled in because Nelson Rivera passed away. I guarantee you will be filled in with a person of color. Guarantee you. Because he just can't help himself. UTANO don't like us. Listen. Just because he's the president of the union don't mean that he care about us. First of all, it was given to him. He didn't earn this. Didn't earn it at all. UTANO don't like us for the same reason that the MTA don't like us. And once again, I'm not foolish. You don't have to tell me that you don't like me for me to see that you don't like me. I could pay attention to your actions as a whole. And it's sad in 2020 that we got management who think like that about us, and we got our own damn union who does the same thing. This is crazy. This is crazy. Man, I don't know what it's going to take for us as a people to really wake up and see what's going on here. I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, look at the protection that they giving us. Look at this.
Right. This is better, much better. Something that slides in and out. Look at that. Better than that damn shower curtain, I'll tell you that. Alright. This is better, much better. Something
They got us thinking that a sliding partition is going to protect us during this virus. A sliding partition. We're not talking about an enclosed area. We're talking about a sliding partition. Now it is better than the shower curtain. It is better than the shower curtain, but that's not going to be enough to protect us. It's not. Passengers are still not wearing masks on these buses and these trains. We see it every single day. The people who's making these decisions now, this partition or whatever is supposed to be closed while passengers are entering the bus. You could tell the people who came up with this idea never was a bus operator, and the MTA is not foolish. They got the union in their back pocket. So the union is going to go with whatever the MTA tell them to go with. And the MTA can always point with, well, your union approved it. Well, our union don't really represent us. They don't represent the members' best interest. They represent management's best interest. Because everyone knows, and even I do it. Sometime you will go up to a bus operator while the bus is in motion and ask them a question. What happens when that person comes up to the bus operator? That partition piece mechanism is open and they go speak to the operator. Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose of the partition being there in the first place? Bus operators ain't gonna have the time to be closing this thing every time that someone sneak up behind them to ask them a question. Do the MTA really think that yellow line being pushed back, the people is going to actually acknowledge that? Do the MTA really think that? Do they not ride these buses before the pandemic hit to see how many people was riding beyond the white line? So you think that pushing back that white line, people is going to respect it? Are they serious? They are using us as test dummies. And it's not even like that they're being innovative this whole entire time. They're not being innovative on how to protect us. They've been following people this entire time. And I'm going to show you guys how. So on June 30th, the MTA came up with a bright idea to install barriers that allegedly protects bus operators. Now, it's and this was on June 30th. But back in April 12th in Dayton, Ohio, the buses there now shower curtain protections for operators. So we talking about April in Dayton, Ohio, they came out with the protections first of that whole shower curtain thing. Even in Kentucky, on April 10th, they did the same thing. So was the MTA even innovative? Or were they playing follow the leader this entire time? And during that time between April and June 30th, a lot of people died on those buses. So you got all these consultants, you got all these high-level executives at the MTA, and you guys couldn't come up with anything innovative to protect your workforce while this pandemic was rummaging through our facilities. There wasn't nothing that you could come up with innovative. Not one of those $300,000 guys in 2 Broadway could have came up with an idea. What you guys did was steal from Kentucky and steal from Dayton, Ohio about a shower curtain. The only time the MTA have the ability to think out the box is when it comes to discipline. That's the only time. When it comes to punishing their employees, that's the only time that they think out the box. When it comes to anything leading to discipline, that's the only time they have the ability to think outside of the box. That's it. That's when they get creative. When it comes to one of their guys, one of the guys inside the Good Old Boys Club at 2 Broadway, they know how to think out the box to protect them. But when it comes to the health and safety of employees here, of the rank and file employees, they don't know how to think out the box. They give us the crumbs. For themselves, they think outside the box. Let me remind you, the fares on the buses opened up, but MTA management is still teleworking from home because they said it will improve employee morale. They don't care about us. The MTA do not care about us. And two, let me make this smaller. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. And to the bus operators out there, I want you guys to they say we are updating our entire fleet, and this is when it comes to the partitions. We are updating our entire fleet, but for those buses that do not have the barriers installed, front door boarding does not apply yet. The health and safety of our employees and customers is our first priority.
Get the fuck out of here!
First, let me just say that first. But they said it. If your bus do not have that partition up, you are not to allow people to come through the front of your bus. You allow them to continue to exit and enter through the back of your bus. No front door border. In fact, if you have a bus that does not have that protection, I don't think that you should take that bus. I do not think that you should take that bus. It is unsafe. And let's not mention that I'm gonna predict this, that more There's going to be more assaults on bus operators because of this whole boarding procedure. There's going to be more assaults. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. What I say to the bus operators, do not get into any type of dispute with any customers over a fare. It doesn't mean anything to you. You're going to get your check whether they pay or not. Whether they pay or not, you're going to get your check. This company do not care about your safety. It's evident. We seen it. We seen it during COVID. We see it during the regular grind of our shifts. We see it what they say to us during this for how they protect us for assaults. We see how they do us for discipline. We see how they let managers talk crazy about us, especially the people of color. We see they do not care about us here. But this is not the time for us to lay down. This is not the time for us to say forget about it. Nothing is going to change. This is the time for us to uprise. This is the time for us to show them that we will not continue to do business as usual. They've been getting away with it for so long on so many levels. There has never been a person of color as the CEO or chairman of the MTA. Not one person since 1968. Since 1968, there has not been not one person of color and not one woman as the chairman of the MTA. That's a sign of white supremacy, because let's not forget, white supremacy didn't allow women to vote. They didn't allow women to vote. They didn't care if they were black or white. This was white supremacy, and white supremacy is definitely not going to allow a black person or a person of color up in their ranks unless that black person is playing their game and hurting other blacks. We're not stupid. We're on to you guys' game. We know what's going on. I know that I'm a target to the MTA. I know you guys would do everything in your power to get me up out of here. Because if you guys would love to get rid of me. Because you guys can't take it. You guys can't take that a young black man is exposing you guys and have the heart to go against you. And you can't go to Utano and tell Utano to tell your guy to cool it out. And I heard that Utano and Chiarello was working with management in an attempt to get me fired. This is the game that these white boys play. This is what they do to us. Same thing when they tried to put those fictitious charges on me at the ballot count, when Utano started this whole entire thing and I just wasn't having it. They do not care about us. They are working with management to get members fired. This is a fact. This is a fact. I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm just not going to do it. And there's a whole bunch of people that's moving with us that's not tolerating it either. This game that upper management playing, hating black people. You guys hate people of color. I've never seen nothing like this ever in my life. And I'm not going to sit here and tolerate it and accept it. I'm not going to play this game that y'all play. I understand that you can't say we don't like black people only because it's not politically correct. But I don't need for you to say that to me in order for me to see that you don't like me or us. You think I'm stupid? I seen what y'all did to us during COVID when we was asking for masks. Y'all told us it was against uniform policy. When I said that my position wasn't clean, y'all told me yes it was, like I was a dummy. Y'all did all these press conferences. We gave y'all all these masks. Y'all told me y'all gave us all these masks and all this other stuff, and we ain't get nothing until y'all was exposed. These people do not like people of color. The upper ranks of the MTA do not like people of color. You see it in their actions. I don't want to hear that, you know, they don't like they don't like people of color. Let's call it for what it is. Stop trying to water this whole thing down. That's our problem as people of color. We always want to water it down. No, they giving it to us straight with no chaser. So why can't we give it back to them straight with no chaser? You think if I was to say something crazy about a community as a manager that they wouldn't knock me down back to whatever title I came from or try to fire me? You think that I don't know that there's a whole conspiracy to try to get rid of progressive action with me? And Utano and Chiarello is down with it? You think I don't know that? You think they think that we so stupid. I'm tired of giving it to them watered down. It's insane here, and we allow them to play this game with us all the time. Jason Brown should not ever be a superintendent ever again. He shouldn't be a supervisor ever again. How does something like this happen? How does something like this happen with a workforce that's so diverse? How does this happen? I'm very upset. I'm very upset that this has happened. I mean, what are we waiting for them to say to us? We don't like you niggas? Is that what it's? Are we waiting for them to actually? Are we actually waiting for them to say that before we take action or get upset? What are we waiting for? They already showed us that they don't like us. This is the culture here at the MTA, and there is people here that's upholding that culture. It's no different than white supremacy in middle America. It's no different. It's no different than the Confederacy in the South. There's no different here. This is them. This is them. It's sad, yo. It's sad in 2020, man. 2020. I'm making a video about the company that I work for being racist against people of color. As diverse as this company is, I'm talking about management being racist against us. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. I don't believe this. And I'm more upset at us for our lack of action. We have, and I'm guilty of this too. I have the ability to forgive quick, fast. It's hard for me to hold grudges. But I'm not living this one down. Never. You guys promoted a racist superintendent. Y'all didn't do it once. Y'all did this across the board. And he's not a one-off. This is the ideology of his friends that he hang out. This is the ideology of the managers who kept promoting him, even though they know what he did. He been doing this since 2014, and he got 2 promotions since then. And we talking about an unprecedented arbitration award. You get temporarily demoted for 6 months and then back into the title that you came from. This company got to be crazy. These people got to be crazy here. I mean, who got our back? Who's fighting for us? This ain't no union here. This is not what Mike Quill designed. This union has become very cliquish. If you're not Italian, you're not down with us. We're not going to take care of you. If you're not a black who fights or complains, if you're a black person that just go with the flow, you're in the building with them. Look at every person of color that's around Utano. Look at every single one of them. They got to wake up. They have to wake up. Utano is already made. He's taken care of already. Samuelson is taken care of already. Man, look. So this, oh boy, very upsetting, yo. Very upsetting. Very upsetting, yo. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. This is we can't keep taking this type of stuff laying down, man. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. They do not care about us at this agency. They do not care about us. And we sit here and we go in and day out and bust our behinds for a company that do not care about us. Boy, but I'm telling you this, man. I'm going to continue to fight. I'm not taking this lying down. Progressive Action is not taking this lying down. I promise you that. I promise you that. They do not care about us. Straight, no chaser. They do not care about us. I'm so upset. So upset. But usually when I'm upset, some type of action is coming behind it. And I'm going to make sure that we're going to let the MTA know we're not going to take this lying down under any circumstances at all. If you want to support the Progressive Action TV platform, you could donate via Cash App. The Cash App is Progressive Action 100. If you want to support via PayPal, the PayPal is Progressive Action. If you want to donate via Patreon, Patreon is in the link of the bio. This is better, even though there's not a lot of people subscribing to it. If you want to donate on a monthly basis, please subscribe to the Patreon. It helps pay for everything over here. Everything from the minutes to the show to new equipment, lights. It's a lot of things that this thing needs, and I'm continuously trying to upgrade it. So if you want to donate to the platform, it will be greatly appreciated. But yo, we need change here. We need change here, and we need it now. And it has to happen. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.